and today I want to talk to you about my project, A Portrait of Consumerism. The thing with art, a painting, you can control all the elements that you put into the picture, and all these elements can create a meaning for the painting, and they kind of work like an ingredient, so they are the ingredients to the picture. The problem with a photograph is that it captures a very realistic moment in time, which is then open to interpretation. A photograph is like a message without a code. In other words, the pictures require an additive. You add the meaning to the picture, and that picture's meaning can change over time. It can change from the very moment you produced it. The people who read it may not necessarily see the same meaning that the photographer saw. So here is an example of a picture that represents the truth, and yet it can be subverted. So the meaning of the pictures can change, and this can be a problem if you're an artist. John Locke, a philosopher back in 1690, wrote that identity is starts as a blank canvas. We're born without an identity, and we, over a period of our lifetime, build our identity up. Irving Goffman, he interestingly said that the objects we use, the props, act like signs. One of the problems, he said, with our identity is that when two people meet for the first time, there has to be a mutually assumed agreement that the performance they're seeing is a moral truth. But in reality, he suggests that for most of us, when we present ourselves and when people present to us, there is more of an amoral truth, which is a mixture of fact and fiction. But for most of us, when we're creating our own identity, we project ideas of who we are, which may be exaggerated. Now, Roland Barthes said that anything could be a sign, and photographs make very good signs. Consumerism is described in the dictionary as the preoccupation of society with the acquisition of goods. So it occurred to me that charity shops are a pillar of society, and charities these days use consumerism in order to raise extra funds through their shops. Consumerism can also be considered a selfish act, as well as a benevolent act. We may shop for friends and family, but we may selfishly shop for ourselves. But the money that we give for these goods in a charity shop goes to a good cause. So perhaps in a way, a charity shop wipes the sin of selfishness clean from our conscience. So we can create an implied identity without in a totally inexpensive way. So therefore it kind of democratizes the ability to present a positive image. People who perhaps could not necessarily afford the designer clothes can find a charity shop that sells designer clothes at affordable prices, at prices that otherwise they'd never have been able to obtain. So it gives people the ability to present an image of perhaps wealth, of status that they wouldn't necessarily be able to do. So perhaps on a moral point of view, if we look at going back to Irving Goffman with the idea of how we present ourselves in an amoral way, there is perhaps a conflict of good and bad between the relationship of charity shops and consumerism, something to consider. So would somebody in the audience like to venture an opinion of what they're seeing here?
I think that because pink is quite a sort of a youthful colour. Normally, I mean, being a bit, apart from Barbara Cartland, normally you probably wouldn't wear pink all in. but she really wears it well as the song goes, and that so comes across. The whole picture is pink, and yeah, good for her, really. You know.
Would you say she's engaging in the act of consumerism? She seems to be enjoying herself.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
In fact, consumerism is an active word. It's a verb. I consume, you consume. So, if we look at it from that point of view, she's very much immersed in and enjoying herself in the act of consumerism, and she's found her bargain and she loves it. So let's perhaps move to the next picture, which I think contrasts quite significantly. Any thoughts of what you read from this picture? Adrian?
She looks to me like somebody who's got to buy a present for someone she mightn't necessarily like, and she's not sure about it. Is this going to do what do you think it's all right? So, yeah. I don't know if she's going to wrap it.
I feel she's got a story behind, I want to know more about it. Why does she look sad?
Yeah, I mean, to me it looks like she's not. She's in. It's almost like she's sleepwalking through the act of consumerism. She's acting it out, but she's not really fully engaged in it. She's not like fully enjoying the process. It's like it's the old adage: you can drink wine or you can savour it. She's drinking the wine, where the lady in the pink is savouring and loving every drop of it. But let's move on to the next picture. Any thoughts on identity, on what you think this person? Any thoughts of?
Quite flamboyant. She likes the bright colours.
Yeah.
She'll wear her outfit as she wants to wear it.
No one's
Not a
ever
scarf around the neck or whatever. It's just. Yeah.
She goes with a sports car, doesn't she? She's that kind of, she's very Saint-Tropez kind of girl, isn't she?
Yeah. They clearly created their own identity, haven't they? You've got. Yeah. The girl on the right in the grey, she clearly knows she's a pretty girl, but perhaps she wants to be taken more seriously. Maybe her choice of clothes are she knows she's pretty, but she also wants to be taken seriously. Whereas the girl on the left is more coquettish. She's out for fun. She doesn't. So, I mean, the main theme here, I think, is that these people are creating their own identity and projecting what they want people to read from that. So,
I think the lady in grey, I find this really interesting because to me it looks like she's carrying a baby the way she's holding her goods. Because if you look at it always looks like the head of the baby and the baby's like blanket. And to me, she looks like a mum who's kind of, she's having a day off, but she's so used to carrying. This is my interpretation. She's so used to carrying this child that she's forever, even when she's off duty, she's still forever a mother, and that's what comes across to me because it really looks like a baby. I don't know why.
Anyone else? Would you perhaps? Is that what other people see? Can you see that?
Yeah, I see that as well.
Did you? Yeah, it looks like a baby, doesn't it? Yeah. It's almost like the grey tracksuit, which is sort of like the thing, but she's still quite glamorous. Yeah.
No, I felt that too.
Almost like she's a proud mother presenting the child to the camera. Yeah. So moving to the lady with the pink fleece, what are your impressions from this picture?
It comes across pink Barbie, doesn't it? And that's pink Barbie colour.
It doesn't look like, given what she's wearing, it seems an odd choice.
As it happens, she was buying this for her daughter, so pink Barbie's wrong. It was for her daughter's bedroom. So yes.
They both look like mums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought. The theme was that, and it came across as I had got the feeling of the theme of nurturing. The lady in the grey is nurturing her purchases like she's holding a baby. So she's really pleased with what she's got, and she's expressing that by the way she holds it, like a proud mother. The lady with the fleece, to me, she looks like the sort of image you might get from somebody who's rushed into Harrods like that in the Harrods sale, rushed to that department and grabbed that fleece before anyone else had. It's like the golden fleece, you know, that Jason has ripped off the tree and he's got it, and she's holding it to her chest. Again, God forbid anyone who tried to take that off her, you know.
And it's the joy, because she bought that for her daughter, and that really comes across in the joy in her face. Because perhaps it is as important to her as something in Harrods, because she's bought something for her daughter, and that's really lovely to
So the theme here, I thought, was nurturing. She's nurturing. They're nurturing as mothers, and even they're nurturing the things that they've got in their own way. Really, what we've been talking about in these pictures is we've been using additives to the photographs. We've been taking the pictures and really applying Rowan Barth's comment that a photograph is a message without a code. We've actually been coding the messages ourselves, and from those codes we've been drawing messages out of the picture. So a photograph, I think, is very different to a painting in so much as the message for the picture comes later, and that can change and can vary from person to person even. If you have time, I'd invite you to have another look at my photographs and perhaps have a critical look and see what you can draw from them. And I don't think any opinion, any reading is wrong. If that's how you read it, then that's how it is. Has anyone any questions before I wind up?